really exciting developments happening at Te Rapa at the moment. Can you talk us through a few of them?
Yeah, look, we've got 3 things on the go at the moment, Aidan. We've got the inside track development, which of a joint venture with the NZTR, aimed mainly at trials. There's a bit of a shortage of tracks at particular parts of the year in terms of having trials venues, so we're trying to make up that vacuum, I guess, within the industry up here. We actually think we could be able to race on the track as well. It's a 1,600 metre circumference, about 18 metres wide down the home straight, about 25 metres wide down the back straight, so there's plenty of room there. And if you look at a track like Waikato, it's of similar circumference to that, so we wouldn't rule out the situation of racing here in the future. We're also creating another bund here, and an increased sort of elevated marquee area here in time, which we have more marquees on our big days. That's a result of, it's a second development, it's a result of our third development, which is the ABA warehouse over here. Existing warehouse space, about 3,000 squares, we've increased it another 2,000 squares. A lot of the soil from there is coming to fill up the bund here. So those are 3 things that are happening. On top of that, we actually purchased a property on Te Rapa Road there, the ANZ building. We purchased that, the settlement was last week, so all in all, it's been pretty busy around here.
Yeah, sure is. Just talking the track first of all, how much sort of base work do you do, drainage and that sort of stuff before we get the track off and going?
We're doing exactly the same kind of development, Aidan, that was done for the initial track development here from the course proper about 12, 13, 14 years ago. So we're trying to follow a very similar formula and blueprint to that. The drains, which have worked so well here for the last 15 years on the course proper, are still in great shape. Merely extending those to the inside track and to the main drains going out to the main drain over by Fonterra there. So very much as a carbon copy of what was developed all those years ago, which seems to work quite well.
Yeah. How much benefit will we get out of this track?
We hope a lot. Certainly the feedback from trainers and owners in the industry around the Waikato areas that trials are important. It's kind of a bit of a sad thing in a way that we're spending a lot of money on purely a trials track, although we might race here as well, because club-wise that's where we derive a lot of our income these days. It keeps the likes of the Waipars and these clubs going, just running trials. You make more money as a club on a trials day than you probably would on an industry race day. So that's where the industry is at the moment, and we're looking to fill a void, I guess, or a need in the industry which is required.
Okay, how long will it take, and when will we see sort of the first trials run on the track?
That's a moot point. The industry want us to get going and get cranked up and having it all ready to race by or trial by the end of this year. Personally, and certainly from a club perspective, we're not that keen to rush it. Obviously these things are dependent on other factors, how the weather situation is. If we have a particularly wet spring and cold spring, then really we have no chance to trial here before the end of the year. But yeah, what are we now? We're mid-March 2015, I'd say in 12 months' time we should be ready to go.
Okay, and the other developments, obviously pretty important for a club just to have the financials all sort of working, and it's part of the sort of, you're very upfront and positive about making sure that Te Rapa's on the front foot.
Yeah, we are, and look, we've sold a little bit of land recently, land we believe is of no real use in terms of deriving revenue from a club perspective. The ABA development I've talked about, which will be now 5,000 squares, is a rental lease basis, so the club still owns that land. We have a considerable rent roll coming in from the end of this year onwards. The bund here, which we're doing, we see very much the opportunity to increase our revenue through holding events, through marquees and events, even not just on a race day but outside of race days. I think it's we've got 60 hectares here. That's a lot of land. We only race 20 times a year. So there's 345 days a year where the club actually doesn't do too much. We've got the Waikato Farmers Market, which you being a Waikato lad, have relocated themselves here. That's at a nice rental to us on a Sunday morning, which would be not much happening otherwise. So I think my analogy, and certainly supported by my board, is very much let's try and do something on those other days where there really isn't too much else going on here.